Hey everybody, it's Chris Eads, known online as Wootini, here with another Gay Gamer video podcast. This week was E3, so I have a lot to talk about there, but, well, actually not that much. But first I just wanted to get a quick movie review out of the way. This weekend I saw The Incredibles 2, or as it should probably be known, Elastigirl featuring The Incredibles. Much like the first one, it's a bit long and could probably stand to lose a good 15 to 20 minutes. It just needs to be tightened up a little. I was just a little frustrated because, as with all superhero origin stories, the first one is all set up, but then when you get to the sequel, you don't have to get them into their costume or get the team together. You can just kick right off and just full steam ahead. But unfortunately, after spending the first movie getting the Incredibles together, this movie starts by pulling them apart and then focusing on Elastigirl for about an hour. And I just wanted to see the Incredibles being superheroes and having an adventure. And I'm not saying it's bad. It's fine. It's a good movie. It's great action set pieces, very funny, charming. I love the art style as well. That kind of retro future 60s thing is amazing. I was just a little disappointed that I had to wait until the last 10 to 15 minutes to see all these new superhero characters finally actually get to do something with their powers. So the ending is spectacular. It's just, it takes a really long time to get there, and it's mostly just Elastigirl. Not that there's anything wrong with her, but I wanted to see the Incredibles, not Elastigirl featuring the Incredibles. Well, that's just me. Anyway, it's great fun, and if you like the first one, you should totally see this. And now on to E3, which was, of course, a complete disappointment. It was a disaster, and not worth your time. Because Nintendo did not announce a new Animal Crossing game for the Switch. Okay, I'm over it. To be fair, every time they do a Direct, I keep thinking, maybe now we'll hear about Animal Crossing. And after, like, you know, a half a dozen or so Directs where we still have not heard about Animal Crossing, I've sort of given up hoping for it, because I get my hopes up, and then my hopes get dashed. So, there was a time when I was like, I'm sure they'll announce something at E3, because that's the perfect time to announce it. I was like, no, they're not gonna, and we're not gonna know anything about it, and I'm gonna be disappointed again, so I braced myself for the disappointment, so it was fine. And then they finished with Smash Brothers with like a half an hour of footage of Smash Brothers, and I'm like, that's great for everybody who loves Smash Brothers, which is like basically everyone but me. I've tried. You know, I did a video. My friends tried. You can get it on my YouTube channel here. It was number 300, and my friends tried to teach me how to do Smash Brothers and get me into it, and it just didn't take. Couldn't do it. I'm not a fighting game fan, even when it's Smash Brothers. So that's great for everybody there. But for me, not so much. And in fact, I found this year's E3 to be a little light on the big reveals. I feel like half the games were games we already knew about, so they're just showing off, like, here's some new gameplay footage. Or it was a brand new game that we'd never heard of before, but it was just a teaser video, and there's really nothing else to say because it's not coming out for a year and a half. So, I mean, there were a lot of 2019 games going on in there, and those are all going to be later in 2019, I'm pretty sure. Or pushed to 2020 when they get delayed. But there were a few reveals that were interesting. I mean, to be fair, the games that I was most interested in are the games that are literally coming out in a few months. Like, I didn't care about seeing footage of Tomb Raider because I'm already sold on Tomb Raider because the first two games were great. This one's going to be more of the same. It's also going to be great. So I'm already getting it. It's fine. You don't have to sell me on it. I didn't care to see more trailers or gameplay footage. It's fine. Unless you're doing something drastically different, which they're not. So I'm good. And then but with SpiderMan, I wanted to see a little more gameplay of that, and so I watched some gameplay footage of SpiderMan, and I'm super into it. I'm just super annoyed that, like, literally it's like Spider-Man comes out on Tuesday, Dragon Quest XI comes out on Friday, and then, like, Tomb Raider comes out the following Tuesday, and I'm like, are you even kidding me right now? Like, months and months of game drought, and then suddenly, like, the 3 games that I'm looking forward to are literally coming out all in practically the same week. Like, what? You can space it out a little for me? So, interestingly, I was originally planning on getting Tomb Raider, and then later, seeing how the reviews were on Spider-Man, and getting Spider-Man later, and then holding off on Dragon Quest to see if maybe they'll announce the Switch version at some point. But they still haven't announced even a ballpark release date for the Switch, which I was kind of hoping we'd get at E3, but no. So that's clearly, like, way off in 2019, and I'm just like, do I want to wait that long? Because I'm also afraid that if you wait and wait and wait, they might eventually be like, you know what, we couldn't make it work, I'm sorry, it's not coming to the Switch after all. And then it's like, ugh. And then hopefully you can get it on the PS4 for cheap, because it'll be old. But now, having seen more Spider-Man footage, I'm sort of tempted to go with Spider-Man, and wait on Tomb Raider, because Tomb Raider is going to be more awesome Tomb Raider gameplay, which I love, and I love the Tomb Raider games, as you know, and they're one of the few games that I will actually, like, hunt down all the secrets and 100% them. Whereas Spider-Man, now I'm kind of like, this looks amazing, and it's like a new experience, so I'm thinking maybe I want to start with Spider-Man and then do Tomb Raider after Spider-Man. Definitely not Dragon Quest, because Dragon Quest will take me months and months and months to complete, which is also why I want it on the Switch, because I'll finish it faster if I can play it portably, because it gives me more opportunities to play it. But I still haven't made my decision yet, and I have until September to do so, so that's fine. I have a couple months. I was also excited to see Assassin's Creed Odyssey, because while I haven't played an Assassin's Creed game in quite a while, I didn't do the pirate one because I don't like pirates. But Ancient Egypt was sounding super cool to me, and then I also like the fact that they added in a mode where you can just explore and get, like, educational information, and not actually play the game. You're not killing people, you're just exploring Ancient Egypt and getting educated about it. And I'm like, that's a super cool mode that I love the idea of. And I think more games should do that sort of thing. I mean, obviously it depends on the setting, but free explorers. So, Ancient Greece, though, is even cooler than Ancient Egypt. So I'm like, but that's out, I think, in October, and I checked, because I'm like, well, if that's coming out, then the last one should probably be, like, on the cheap. And it is, it's like $30, but I have other games that I'm playing, and there's games coming out, and I'm just like, I don't want to start that, because, no, I don't have time for it. However, I will say that if they were to release Assassin's Creed Origins on the Switch, I would pay twice that. I would pay full price, I would pay the full $60 just to have it portably, because I would be able to finish it faster, and play it wherever. See, I want more stuff on the Switch, people. But the other game that looked also interesting to me, amongst all the typical shooters and sports gaming and whatever, Cyberpunk 2077 stood out to me a little. I like that it's a first-person game, because I love the first-person perspective. It's much more immersive, and the idea of immersing myself into this future world is kind of cool. My only concern with that is that I fear it's going to be like Fallout, where the world itself is cool, but then it's kind of grim and ugly and not something I really want to spend a lot of time in. Because that's my problem with Fallout. Fallout's a great game. It's a futuristic Elder Scrolls kind of thing. It's like, you know, this is great. But I just found I didn't enjoy exploring the world of Fallout because it's just grim and ugly. It's just a personal preference. So I don't know about Cyberpunk 2077, if it's going to be oppressively dark, that I'm like, maybe I'm not going to be into that. Interestingly, one of the games that I found most intriguing, I found in an article online, because it wasn't part of Sony's press conference, and it also was not apparently, on the show floor. They were not promoting it at all. It's called Concrete Genie, and in it you play as a young boy with a giant paintbrush, and you brighten up a dark and dingy cityscape by painting beautiful animated glowing murals on all the walls to bring light to the city. And then there's these bullies that are trying to stop you by chasing you down and stealing your paintbrush. And you can't actually fight back against the bullies. You can only run away and hide. And if they get your paintbrush, you have to go retrieve it and stuff. But it's a very interesting idea, and I just love the visuals of the murals. Were just gorgeous. And it looks like, you know, and you can kind of like, not completely customize them, but you can make them how you want them by taking pieces of different artwork and combining them. So you're not just like painting the same mural as everybody else. It's a little more creative than that. And I love that. But they're not pushing it for some reason. But to me, that was a super interesting game. And that's also coming out later this year. And I'm going to be keeping an eye out for that one because that looked super interesting to me. But overall, I felt like E3 was just sort of like, because they were just telling us about games that we already knew about, that we knew were coming, so you're getting a little more information, but I felt like there wasn't any big, like, oh my god, I can't believe that this is a game that's coming out, and I want to know more about it. I sort of missed that, but it's fine. There's still plenty of awesome games coming, but that's really all I have to say about E3. Let me know in the comments if there were games that you thought looked super awesome that maybe I missed, or I ignored and should maybe take a second look at. Let me know if there was something cool that I should know about or pay more attention to. But I don't want this to be too long, but I also need to talk about a couple of games that I started this week. First, I want to talk about Fortnite, which Nintendo announced was coming to the Switch, and in fact, is already on the Switch and you can download it right now. I love when Nintendo does stuff like that. They're like, here's a new game, it's coming out, and now you can get it. Ta-da! So I downloaded it overnight, but then I had a couple of stressful days at work, so I was like, maybe jumping into a competitive online shooter is not really the best idea right now. I'll play something a little more zen, like No Man's Sky. But then came the weekend, and I said, alright, let me give it a shot. And oh my god, like, Fortnite just throws it right in there. There's no instructions, there's no tutorial, there's nothing. I spent like 5 minutes leafing through the menu trying to figure out how to change and customize my character. It's like, you're gonna be this woman. And I'm like, what if I wanted to be somebody else? Can I pick my character? Can I change her hair color? Can I do anything? And I didn't know what I was doing. And I was like, okay, I guess I can. So, because it's a free-to-play game, I said, let me give it a try because it's free. And it's on that mobile free-to-play thing where you can play the basic game for free, but if you want to customize your character or get different costumes or make it a different person, you have to pay for that. As I understand, you can earn money in-game to do that, or you can pay real-life money. So, I don't know. I didn't get very far, because basically what happened was I said, alright, fine, let me try playing the game. So it matched me up with some people, put me on a team, and then I thought we were starting, and then all of a sudden it was like, okay, now you're in this bus flying over the island, you have to jump out, and I'm like, wait, what? So I jumped out, and then I'm like skydiving down, and I'm like, where am I supposed to go? Like, the whole map, it's this huge map, and I'm like, where do I go? Do I follow my team members? What do I do? What I ended up doing was I saw there was like this, that I could see people going in these places, and there was like a plateau that had a house on it, and I said, let me go to that plateau because it's away from everybody else, and I can land, and I can like get my bearings and figure out the controls and figure out what I'm doing without being shot at immediately. So I found the house, searched it, I found a gun, I found some health packs, I found some ammo, it was great, and then I'm like, okay, now what do I do? And I'm like, I guess I should go and like find some other people and shoot them and kill them, because that's what I think you're supposed to do. So I start working my way towards where I could see there were other people on the map, and apparently like my other teammates were all dead already because they were amongst others and they got killed. And then as I was looking for other people, somebody started shooting at me, and then before I could figure out who was shooting at me to try to shoot back, I was dead. So that was it. And I'm like, oh, okay, so how is this supposed to be fun? And I'm like, all I need is like some kind of offline tutorial where it's like, here's the game, here's how it works, here's how you use the control, here's what you can do. And I'm like, I don't know what I can do. I don't know how to do anything. I don't know what special abilities I might have. I don't know how to, I could fire my gun, but there was no one around to fire it at. So I was like, kind of disappointed, and I know that Fortnite is this huge, big, exciting game, and if you love it, tell me why in the comments, because I don't know if I'm going to go back to try it again, because once was kind of enough, because I feel like it was sort of like, okay, what was the point of that? Like, that wasn't really fun. I didn't know what I was doing. I had no idea what was going on, and then I was dead before I could even turn around and fight back. So, because that's why I don't like competitive shooters. I liked, like, Destiny was okay because it was you and some other people against the enemies, AI enemies. That was fine. I tried the, like, player versus player arena in Destiny one time, and it was a disaster. I got killed immediately because the other players are going to be better than me. So that's why I like cooperative, because then, even though I suck, I'm on a team with good people, and I can help a little bit, even though I'm not going to be doing a whole lot compared to them. But like, this competitive stuff is not good because I'm not very good at the game, and I feel like other people are paying money that I'm not willing to pay, so they'll have better armor and weapons, and then I'm going to just have to scavenge what I can get on the ground, since I'm not paying for anything, and then I'll just get killed very quickly every time, and I don't see how that's supposed to be fun at all. The other game that I tried, also on the Nintendo Switch, was much more enjoyable to me, because it's totally up my alley. It's called Shape of the World. It is a weird, artsy exploration game where you are put in a completely white, blank world, and there's a triangle in the distance, and so you start walking towards that triangle, and as you do that, the world just comes to life around you. Trees sprout up, rocks crop up, and little creatures start appearing, and, like, and then when you get to the triangle, you pass through the triangle, and suddenly the world changes, the colors change, the music's changing, and it becomes a little more alive, and there's more trees, this time with leaves, and there's, like, rivers, and all kinds of stuff, and there's limited interactivity. Like, there's certain rocks and things that you can interact with, and if you interact with a series of rocks, it might create a bridge that you can then walk across to get to a new area. You can also, it seems, knock down trees, though why you'd want to do that I don't know. And then there's also little seeds and things occasionally that you can pick up, and then you can plant. Like, you'll throw the seed, and then a tree will grow. And it's all just sort of like, it feels very procedurally generated. It's kind of random, and stuff just crops up and down as you move around, and the world is coming to life around you. I've only played it for a little while. As I understand, it's a very short game, so I didn't want to, like, press through and finish it too quickly, because I want to be able to enjoy the experience. Although, I'm enjoying it. It's very zen. It's totally, like, soothing, and it's like you're just walking around and you're just seeing, and the music is beautiful, and it's this, like, cartoony, pastel, world that's, like, it's very artistic looking and impressionistic, I think is the word I'm looking for. And it's just a wonderful experience, and it's very soothing, and that's exactly what I need right now. Soothing. So, it was $15 in the eShop. It's also available on, like, PS4 and I think PC and Xbox, but I wanted it on the Switch just because I like to support the Switch. I like having my games portably. If a game is available on multiple platforms and the Switch is one of them, I'm gonna get it on the Switch because then it's portable. Also, it's the kind of thing that is totally up my alley, like I said. These, like, exploratory first-person games that aren't really games, and so I wanted to buy it when it came out so that I could kind of support that and give it some sales, and that way we might see more of those kinds of games. Because that's why I like that. Okay, so that is it for this week. I feel like this one's been super long, and so I'm going to shut up now. and we'll come back next time where hopefully I promise I will have something else to talk about, because as you know I downloaded Beyond Two Souls and I never started it, so I'm going to try to start that this week, and so next time I will be talking about that and my impressions on that. So come back and see what I thought of it. And like I said, let me know in the comments if there were E3 games that I should check out that I might have missed or overlooked, and why you like Fortnite. Bye!